This is Cult Film Face Off.
Hello and welcome to episode 33 of Cult Film Face Off. My name is Chet Boy. With me as usual is Nick Leonard.
Big old Japanese fella pulled me right over.
First of all, thanks very much to Edward Fisher who got in touch with us and suggested this week's pairing of films. Incidentally, if you've been enjoying the show or you've got any ideas for films that we can pair with each other, give us a shout on social media, drop us an email, cultfilmfaceoff@gmail.com, and we can pair some together for future episodes. But this episode we're going to be looking at two films that both came out in 1989. DeepStar Six, directed by Sean S. Cunningham, and Leviathan, directed by George P. Cosmatos. After 20th Century Fox announced pre-production on James Cameron's underwater thriller The Abyss, TriStar and MGM, among other studios, attempted to beat them to the punch with one Sea for Space alien ripoff apiece. But we're going to start with the first film to be released, the first one out of the gate, which was DeepStar Six. Midway through the installation of a nuclear storage facility at the bottom of the ocean, a group of American naval engineers accidentally disturbed the lair of a lethal sea creature. DeepStar Six.
Below the surface of the sea, far, far below, in impenetrable darkness, at unimaginable pressure, no form of life we know could possibly exist. Here, there is only silence. And the crew of DeepStar Six.
6 months at the bottom of the ocean. It's more than I bargained for.
They are explorers.
Let's bring it aboard and get the hell out of here.
What's the matter? You gonna let a few ugly fish scare you?
They are invaders.
Okay, boys and girls, don't try this at home.
In a world which no human being has ever entered.
Sonar contact.
Down here?
I'd like to go out and take a look.
Contact closing. 300 meters.
The hell is that?
250.
Look at that mother.
200 meters. 150 meters.
I think we're in big trouble, boss.
100 meters. Get the hell out of here.
Now, they are about to make a startling discovery. Not all aliens come from space. DeepStar Six.
We're gonna have to go back down there.
What if they killed half our crew?
Damn it, there's something in the...
Save your last breath to scream.
Mayday! DeepStar Six!
From the creator of Friday the 13th, DeepStar Six.
Is anybody out there? Can anybody hear us? Mayday!
Okay, I'd never seen this film. I'd seen it floating around video shops as a child. How about you?
I'd never seen this floater. It's floating around.
I've never seen this floater.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
I'd never heard of it, and I'd never seen it.
Okay, what did you make of DeepStar Six?
So it opens up with a gorgeous underwater credit sequence. Really, really well shot. That's my good stuff.
I thought it was when the credits ran down the screen like water running down the screen.
Yeah, I thought the whole thing was done very, very nicely. And then you're introduced to the first sequence of the two of the six crew. I think it's six crew. Is that right?
I guess that's
maybe not. No, that's 100% on that. But you're introduced to two of the crew, talking about their love, and I'm listening to this for 5 minutes, going, "Whoa, this is some really flat dialogue.
Yeah.
I'm not buying into this relationship. What's going to be the big surprise later on with these two?"
Yeah.
That happens.
Of course, yeah.
I mean, this is a very hokey film. It's extremely melodramatic as well. There's a lot of shouting in this movie.
I noticed immediately that the takes were quite long. The camera barely moves. And it looked visually, it was just complete. I mean, this is a TV pilot. I mean, this seems like the pilot.
Felt like old telly.
Yeah, and it is just a fucking whack melodrama. It's really talky. It's an incredibly talky film. All of the conflict is unbelievable. I mean, it's just uninteresting, and it's scarcely believable.
It's very, very trite.
Yeah, and the central antagonist, Miguel Ferrer, playing this. He's just a guy who antagonises everyone. And also, I don't know what he's doing in that role. That's supposed to be a slightly imposing thug. And little Miguel Ferrer, I mean, he does the job quite well, but...
physically, he's not the right...
He's supposed to be imposing.
But he does play an awesome fucking douchebag.
Dickhead, yeah.
You know, straight from his performance in RoboCop as a fucking massive douchebag.
Yeah.
He's on douchebag duties again. I mean, this film, it pilfers so much from Aliens and can't even, to be mentioned in the same sentence as Aliens. I mean, there's the closing in monitor sequence, which is completely from Alien.
Yeah.
There's the Alien, something rams the space station. Alien.
Yeah.
And then there's to round it off, you've got the Alien blip on monitor scene.
Yeah.
All of it done without any drama, any kind of tension whatsoever, but completely just directly lifted from Aliens.
Yeah, it's funny that obviously what people thought is when they announced The Abyss, everyone thought, he's going to make aliens underwater. He didn't, but this is essentially, this is certainly what this film is. But there's no sense of wonder to this film whatsoever. There's not even a really good scene of like faux scientific mumbo jumbo. I was waiting for an explanation about why they shouldn't blow up these caverns and what they thought might be hiding. It was like it was written by someone who had no interest in what potentially. It was someone who was interested in the soap opera shit that was going on the ship, and I watched it with a friend. We stopped the film for like a break, go and get maybe like some popcorn or whatever. 30 minutes in, and I was like, "Fuck, nothing has happened." We stopped it again at 60 minutes. I was like, "Nothing has happened in an hour of this film." It only really starts the wheels start turning after the hour mark, which I think is quite a fucking achievement for a film like this, especially a sci-fi action horror thriller or whatever it's purporting to be.
It's completely unimaginative, this film.
Totally.
I mean, when it picks up is when the monster first attacks. That's punctuated on about the hour mark.
Yeah.
And you're given the first look we get, the first time we see the monster, I was like, the monster looks like a Tom Baker Doctor Who era monster who didn't make the cut.
It's not
it actually is a bit better than that when you do see the
when you see it in full for the couple of seconds. I was like, okay,
yeah, it's okay.
It's okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually I've made a note of it. It's 1 hour and 6 minutes in that the monster appears.
That's late in the game.
Yeah, really.
I mean, this film is a film for you if you love actors shouting highfalutin technical babble at each other, and also if you get a hard on for shots of monitors displaying technical mumbo jumbo, you would love this film. It really is stupid. I mean, Schneider, Miguel Ferrer's character, he detonates these nuclear missiles, and in his defence he just goes, "I was following protocol," but he wasn't following protocol, and that's nonsense.
Yeah. But everything that he gets annoyed about, he's just like, grow up, you twat. I can understand, but there wouldn't be... Actually, it's funny that they have this... The only mechanism of drama is Miguel Ferrer being annoyed.
But doing stuff just stupidly. I mean, being a complete dumbass.
Yeah, but what's interesting about this film as well is it kind of avoids really substantial, meaty drama at every possible turn. There's one scene where one of the crew is trapped in a door, and rather than his crewmates are trying to help him, and rather than let's see how that goes, he floods that area of the ship and almost drowns all of them. And I thought he just blatantly almost fucking like he had some sort of persecution complex.
There's a flood button on there.
Yeah, exactly.
The annual purge.
I'm going to press the flood button. Yeah, but I just thought, he has some sort of persecution complex. I'm going to. But I was like, there's other people there, dickhead. Like you're not. So you may kill everybody.
It's just a cheap way of causing. It's just a real cheap, lazy way of causing drama.
But the thing is, the drama was the fact that why did he do that? In the next scene, Matt McCoy's character says, "Oh God, I'm going to miss him," and Greg Evigan, who was there, was like, "Yeah," and I'm just like. He almost killed you and the mother of your unborn child.
And then he goes, "I'm going to name my son after Captain."
That's so fucked. I'm just like, that guy almost killed you. It wasn't a noble thing that he did at all, because he could have taken people with him. But that's what I mean. It avoids any possible... If there's a germ of something that could be interesting, it just fucking swerves straight away from it.
I mean, I was, when I'm finding myself looking at a movie, when they have an implement where they're going to basically attack the monster by shoving this kind of dart that's unable to put huge amounts of air into something.
Yeah.
So I was hoping for we're going to get like a Yaphet Kotto Mr. Big moment.
Yeah.
We never got that.
No, you do. I mean, it's kind of, in retrospect, it's quite funny that Miguel Ferrer's character is just like, he stepped in front of my weapon and then he kills him, doesn't he?
I mean, that was a mood highlight. Is Van Gelder. He's such a moody guy, Van Gelder. This is a bad movie.
Yeah, it's really bad. I mean, the one thing that I thought was quite impressive is that the way the ship looks is quite impressive. I mean, the interiors look kind of functional and they look barely habitable. It looks like the inside of like a really taut submarine. Like you do think that looks.
You
like
want to be there.
No, it looks like it's functional and it looks like you. Yeah. But the production design should have been a bit glossy, maybe. It should have been kind of nice to look at, and then you would.
It looked. I think going back again, it looked like television.
It did, but I mean, vague realism in the design of the ship was not the way to go. You can't even get some sort of I don't know, comfort out of it. If it was glossy and kind of nice to look at, I was expecting some kind of high drama from these highly strong people who don't want to be in this environment by looking at it, but it's not that. That's the problem. I think they should have gone for something a bit glossier, but then again, maybe it was just a budget thing. I don't know. It's completely at odds with the film. The fact that it looks kind of vaguely realistic, I guess.
I mean, this is Sean S. Cunningham and Harry Manfredini, who have worked together on numerous pictures in the past, being the Friday the 13th series.
Harry Manfredini?
He's the composer.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't help watching this, just going, it just reminds me of every Jason film that I've seen him compose. It's the same kind of, you know, he does that sound very well, but watching it in DeepStar 6, which is not a slasher film, felt a bit odd to me.
Yeah.
The music, I feel, is far better in Leviathan, that we'll talk about obviously shortly after this.
Yeah. I'm curious what the budget was, because
$8 million.
Was it? Mm-hmm. I don't know what they spent that on. I mean, when the creature shows up at 1 hour and 6 minutes in, I thought, you see the creature for, I reckon, in total about 3 seconds, and then it's gone again, and then you're back to bickering and fucking melodrama again. And then we see the monster again for a few more seconds, and then, you know, like we said, the monster's not terrible, but I reckon it's on screen for a maximum of about 45 seconds for the whole film, a film where they're being stalked apparently by this fucking monster. The only thing that I think that the only real, like, bona fide plus, I think Miguel Ferrer's death is horrifically unpleasant. That's a really nasty scene, and I was like,
that was done well. They got a good decompression.
Yeah, they got a really good reaction out of us. We were like, whoa.
Yeah, it's quite squirmy.
Yeah, it's nasty. It is funny that Sean S. Cunningham rips off the end of Friday the 13th when they're in the water, and then I thought, I can't believe you're pulling that stunt again.
I said who can pull that stunt is him.
Yeah, okay. But you just thought, come on, that bereft of idea. But it's one of those films where the film ends and the main characters are stuck in the middle of the Atlantic and it's happy, and I'm like, you're fucked.
You fucking shot me.
You're seriously dead. Like, it's like the camera pans away. It does that a lot in Hollywood movies where they're stuck in the water. Oh, everything's happy. I'm like, hold on a minute. They're fucked. They're fucked. They were in the middle of nowhere. In the middle of the Atlantic, they're dead. It's weird how all of the characters throughout speak. They only ever call themselves by their surnames. And when this woman, who, you know, she's pregnant with this guy's, she goes, McBride, and I'm like, surely you'd call him something other than fucking McBride. Like you're like you're having his child, McBride. Everything. I mean, this is a shit film. It's an hour of shit melodrama, no suspense, and then a sort of vaguely okay creature turns up for about 45. I mean, this is lousy. I can't believe this got released at the cinema.
This should just stay deeply sunk in Davy Jones's locker.
I totally agree. A disarmingly bad film.
Yeah, rubbish.
Yeah.
No redeeming features. Next!
Okay. Well, next up then is Leviathan, directed by George P. Cosmatos, released the same year, 1989. A deep-sea mining crew discover a sunken vessel during a routine operation and inadvertently transport a malevolent lifeform on board their own ship, Leviathan.
It was an experiment that tampered with nature's most basic laws. It went terribly wrong. It was buried 5 miles down. Now, a crew of undersea miners is about to stumble upon this terrifying secret.
Shack to 7. What's going on out there, Williams?
My God, are you picking this up?
Look at that. Leviathan.
Currently with a Russian fleet in the Baltic Sea.
Currently it's rusted junk and we're looking at it. What's your air reading?
20 minutes.
Do something quick.
We've lost him. My crew's in jeopardy.
But you have no proof.
I'm ordering you to start an emergency medical evacuation.
What if it turns out to be nothing?
Help me.
It's already killed one man.
My rebreather stopped. I'm losing compression. I can't breathe.
Whatever got Six-Pack and Bowman, it's still here.
I feel something. Somebody's alive in here.
What's going on? Six-Pack.
Six-Pack, answer.
Don't go in there. Don't touch anything.
What are you trying to tell us, Doc?
It absorbs the intelligence of its victims.
Thank goodness you're still alive.
When are you coming?
I say we protect ourselves.
Leviathan.
Okay, I saw this back way back when, probably not long after it came out on home video. Had you seen it before?
Exactly the same. Home video a long time ago.
Did you like it back then?
I did, loved it as a kid.
Yeah,
I had a really fond recollection of it. I hardly remembered fucking anything about it.
Same here, yeah. It was nice to go back to it because I don't remember anything about it except that I liked it.
Yeah.
How did it go down in 2017?
Oh man, this was like a breath of fresh air after. I mean, this is not a perfect film, but it was still a breath of fresh sea air compared to DeepStar Six.
Did you watch one after the other?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
So did I. And we watched it on a double bill, and I was like, "Mate, is it just because we watched this immediately after DeepStar Six and this seems so much better?" But I don't think it is. It's genuinely a far fucking better film. When the film opens, the first shot, I was like, "That shot looks like it cost way more than the whole
the whole film just has got an air of sheen about it that DeepStar Six did not have.
But also, it just starts straight away when that guy's suffocating. There's immediately drama. You're immediately interested, rather than having like a fucking sitcom. I get to know all this fucking amiable bunch of nobodies. It's streets ahead straight away.
Very solid score by Jerry Goldsmith. Great score in this movie, and the FX, the special effects was very reminiscent of The Thing, and this is because Stan Winston's workshop were on creature duties, which is surprising because the full reveal of the monster at the end is pretty dumb. It's not very good. It's like he's got basically an oversized fish head with kind of gambas tentacles, prawn arms.
Yeah, it's not a great design.
Which is a shame, because when the monster is like, a kind of an amalgamation of limbs and heads, and it feels like The Thing, that's when it's like, and quite effective.
Yeah. But I mean, the cast, like compared to the cast, the cast from DeepStar Six, this is for a B movie. This is a fantastic cast: Peter Weller, Richard Crenna, Ernie Hudson, Meg Foster, Hector Elizondo, Daniel Stern. It's a really fucking terrific cast. And as soon as you start to get to know the characters, Weller rehearsing his speech in front of the mirror, like, okay, great, and Hector Elizondo is like pontificating about how much better it is to be away from society and how much better, you don't know how lucky you've got. I was like, fuck, there's actual characters in this, rather than those fucking soap opera drones that were in Deep Star 6. I was like, this is a good script. I don't think it's good for the entire duration. It kind of descends into a state, sort of pretty standard slasher film towards the end. But when I looked up who wrote it, I was like, one of the co-writers of Die Hard and one of the co-writers of fucking Blade Runner. It's completely, obviously it's going to be better. It's so much better than Deep Star 6. And I actually think this is still a pretty fucking good, solidly decent little horror film.
Yeah, I enjoyed revisiting this. And then the key is the cast, and the key is actually giving a shit about the cast.
Yeah, really.
And also, none of the kind of cheap melodramatic shit that was pulled off in Deep Star 6.
There's one scene where Amanda Pays and Peter Weller are like having some sort of romantic chat, and they put on this soft porn music, and I was like, whoa, this is 80s, this is early 80s, like overpowering sort of shit. But apart from that, no, it's quite lean as a film.
I have to say, you do care about the crew, but the crew are they're a cold-hearted bunch, because whenever crew members learn about the death of crew members from other crew members, there is a complete nonchalantness about it. Oh yeah, he went. And there's always, the reaction shot is just, let's go on with it. There's never any, they don't waste any time mourning on this shit.
I didn't notice that. This film's only real problem, I think, is that it's completely derivative. If it wasn't, I think it would have a really great reputation, because it doesn't mess around like all great sort of films in this genre. There's no questions about who's infected and who isn't. There's a montage early on of everyone being inspected, and you know that they're all fucked. Then you're told that it takes 8 hours for this stuff to kill you because Daniel Stern died over 8 hours. Then Meg Foster says, "Oh yeah, we'll come and rescue you in 12 hours," and like that's the ticking clock straight away. It's like a little engine driving the plot. So I think that
it was very 80s having the character Turner was the woman who was the boss of
Meg Foster, who was there in the office.
Yeah, basically like an evil Kirstie Alley.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a very 80s kind of motif of having this 80s power lady kind of basically lying and scheming and all about the money and not caring about the crew. I found that every time she popped up on camera that she was just kind of just hamming it. I found that quite funny.
I for some reason I did have an inkling straight away when she appeared. I was like, I've seen this film before, but I'd completely forgotten. But I was like, is there going to be some really unnecessary cheeseball moment where she gets punched in the face? And lo and behold, that came true. I guess subconsciously I probably remember.
I think very much of its time.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, I think it's a really good indicator about how well this film works is there's a bit where they intercept this news report and it becomes clear that Meg Foster has told the press that they're all dead, so they've written them off already, and they announce who's dead and they name the crew, and I was like, I know exactly which character is which name. Like I knew who was who. Yeah. That's quite an achievement, I think. I could not tell you.
Anyone on DeepStar Six? Apart from Schneider.
Schneider, of course, yeah, I suppose, because he was the one character who was just endlessly.
And then endlessly his name was coming up in a negative way.
That's right.
Because he's getting blamed for everything. I mean, the character, obviously, who by and large we know from Home Alone, he plays a six-pack. Yeah. He plays a great douchebag. Yeah. I mean, he's a convincing arsehole.
I think everyone's pretty good in this. I think everyone's really. I mean, because it's a good cast. I mean, I suppose you could say DeepStar 6, for all its faults, and there were plenty of faults there. It looked like its own thing. It kind of looked. I mean, distinctive something is a plaudit that you don't want to give it. But this just looked like Aliens. It was modelled very, very sort of strictly on Aliens. I mean, one thing I did like about this is that there's always cables sort of tied up everywhere, and if you look in the background, there's always cables running along things and tied up. And it looked kind of slapdash and slightly nauseating because it seems to be not falling apart, but anything.
But that's the whole thing, isn't it? About the vessel being. Quite delicate. It was a jump. They were fixing it by putting a piece of chewing gum into
that's right.
into running of part of the ship, and that was fit.
I think that added things because you feel like a wrong thing, and they could fucking kill each other, kill everybody rather. Something that I thought I was watching this, I just thought, was this ever shown in 3D? Obviously not, because by that point that the original 3D had died and the new 3D didn't exist. But the tool-up scene when they're getting all their weapons together, they keep shoving stuff in the camera, and I was just like, this looks like a scene from. It looks like the tool-up scene in Freddy's Dead, where they're constantly shoving things in the camera.
I remember it very clearly in Freddy's Dead.
Yeah, it's exactly. And then when they're walking through with all their weapons, they're always trying to jut them towards the camera. It's really weird. It's like somebody at some point thought that they might release it in 3D.
I didn't notice that. I'd never look.
But yeah, when people start dying, it's a little bit on the flat side. It's people being picked off. But yeah, it is a film from a different era. The sharks that appear at the end, I thought, come on. I mean,
it really didn't need
it. It's like it was real. It's like the train.
I mean, it was just turning into like a parody. It's not like you'd imagine The Simpsons to sort of put on the end of an episode or something. It was a parody, so I kind of thought that's dumb. But it was what it was.
It was funny because when the sharks appeared, a few seconds later, I thought, Ernie Hudson, the token black character, he lived, and then he gets munched. That's the end of him.
I mean, riffing on Jaws, saying motherfucker, doesn't quite have the same resonance as Smile You Son of a Bitch.
No, it doesn't. I mean, that's lame. Yeah. He should have just said.
He should have just got to avoid doing any kind of riffing on Jaws.
No. I don't know what he should have said in place of that. Probably nothing, but then that would have been fucking weird if he just went, I'm going to kill the monster.
I mean, he genuinely is an ugly son of a bitch.
Yeah, that's true. There's no doubt about that. We checked how far through we were with DeepStar 6, stopped it and said how long we got left of this. 4 times in total, I think. I didn't check once.
No, I didn't.
Watched it straight through.
I thought it rolled along really nicely, Leviathan. Yeah. And I was looking forward to watching it, I can't say fond memories. All I know is that I liked it when I was a kid. Yeah. And I really enjoyed putting it on. It's very, it hasn't aged fantastically well, but cast are great, atmosphere's great. There is actual tension in it, genuine tension. I mean, when the female character, her hair starts coming out, and she discovers that Sixpack is dead, and then she commits, she commits suicide. Yeah. It's all done very well.
Yeah, it's a really decent film. I mean, I just think if it wasn't so derivative, it would have a better reputation. Basically, a much better reputation. And also, I'm not sure how they did it. I scoured the internet trying to figure out, because when the first scene, I was like, wow, they shot this in the same sort of environment where they shot The Abyss underwater in a tank. Apparently they didn't. They used some sort of, I don't know how they did it, because it looks like they're underwater legitimately, and I'm just thinking, how could they possibly have done that in like the 80s when they filmed it and made it look like they're underwater, but they're not.
They're not underwater?
No, apparently not.
What?
I was trying to figure this out. No, apparently there's some sort of
they put water button in.
No, I think what they did is because there's information online about how they used feathers floating around to try and make it look, because there is stuff floating in the water. It looks like they're in. I have no idea. I tried to figure, I went on Google trying to find out information about how it was shot, whether it was shot underwater, whether it wasn't, and the only thing I could find is that it was shot in a process that was called wet for dry or something like that. Sorry, dry for wet. Sorry, other way around. So yeah, I thought it was a very flawed. Peters out in the last half hour, but.
I was disappointed that Stan Winston's guys were behind the monster, and the full reveal of the monster was naff.
Not quite. No,
really naff. It's an oversized fish head with gambas legs.
Yeah, no, you're right.
So, what way are you going to go?
I'll say I'll probably plump for Leviathan this time.
Yeah, Deep Space Six will be forever treading water, and Leviathan is the one.
DeepStar Six.
Hey?
DeepStar Six, not Deep Space Six.
DeepStar Six.
Okay, well, thank you very much for listening. If you've enjoyed this, please do check out our YouTube channel, Facebook, Twitter, all of that stuff. If you've got any suggestions for episode, we'd love to hear them. Drop us a line. And if you've seen any of the films, check out Slate on the blog. What's coming up? If you've seen any of those films, we'd love to hear any anecdotes or reviews of anything that you may have seen. And yeah, thanks for listening. We'll see you again.
Cheerio.